Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Firdausi, a second year student from Department of Business Administration. In this video, basically I will try to solve a problem from chapter number 3, the measurement of elasticity. So let's start the video. Here is our problem. The consumer faces the following demand equation for good X. Qx is equal 100 minus Px plus 0.75 Py minus 0.25 Pz plus 0.0075 Y, where Px is equal 10, Py is equal 20, and Pz is equal 40 are the prices of goods X, Y, and Z respectively, and Y is equal to 10,000 in the income of the consumer. Calculate own price, cross price, and income elasticity of demand for the good, that is epsilon xx, epsilon xy, epsilon xz, and epsilon y. Comment on the nature of good X and its relationship with other goods Y and Z. Now I will try to solve this problem. First of all, our demand equation is Qx is equal 100 minus Px plus 0.75 Py minus 0.25 Pz plus 0.0075 Y. So here are some values which is given in the question. These are price of good X is equal 10, price of good Y is equal 20, price of good Z is equal 40, and Y is equal to 10,000. Now we will calculate own price, cross price, and income elasticity of demand for the goods. But first, we have to find out the value of Qx. If we put this value in the demand equation, you will get the value of Qx, which is 170. Now the own price elasticity of demand. We know the own price elasticity of demand, epsilon xx is equal change in quantity of good X with respect to change in price of good X times price of good X divided by quantity of good X. So how do we calculate the dqx upon dpx? It actually means the partial derivatives of this demand function with respect to px. From the demand equation, the coefficient of px is equal -1. So the value of dqx upon dpx will be -1. If we put this value in the equation, we will get our epsilon xx, which is minus 0.0588. It means if the price of good X increase 1%, the quantity of good X will decrease 0.0588%. Now next, move to the cross price elasticity. Cross price elasticity of demand for good XY. So the equation is as similar as own price elasticity. Epsilon xy is equal change in quantity of good X with respect to change in price of good Y times price of good Y divided by quantity of good X. Here the coefficient of Py is 0.75. So obviously the value of dqx divided by dpy will be 0.75. If we put this value in this equation, we will get our epsilon xy, which is 0.0882. So in cross price elasticity of demand, if epsilon is greater than 0, then two goods are substitute goods. And if epsilon is less than 0, then two goods are complementary goods. Here the epsilon is 0.0882, which is greater than 0. So the good X and Y are substitute goods. Let's move to the next slide. Cross price elasticity of demand for good XZ. The equation is always similar as before. So here the coefficient of PZ is equal minus 0.25. Obviously, the value of dQx upon dPz will be minus 0.25. So if we put this value in this equation, we will get our epsilon xz, which is minus 0.0588. So this value is less than 0. So the good x and z are complementary goods. Now move to the income elasticity of demand. We know the income elasticity of demand, epsilon y, is equal change in quantity of good x with respect to change in price of good y times price of good y divided by quantity of good x. As the coefficient of py is 0.0075, so the value of dqx upon dpy will be 0.0075. So our epsilon y will be 0.4412. As I have already mentioned, in cross-price elasticity of demand, if epsilon is greater than 0, then two goods are substitute goods. And if epsilon is less than 0, then two goods are complementary goods. Now, in income elasticity of demand, if epsilon y is greater than 1, the good is luxurious goods. If epsilon is greater than 0 and less than 1, then the good is necessary goods. And if epsilon y is less than 1, then the good is inferior goods. If we see here, here in our equation, the epsilon y is equal 0.4412. That means it is greater than 0 and less than 1. So we can say this good is necessary good. So our good X is a necessary goods. This is all about this question. Thank you for watching this video. Hope this video will help you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends.